Hey,
Dr. Rhodes, what's
Hey,
up?
Trent.
Hey, come on down.
So good to see you.
Yes.
I was just walking the halls and I saw you in your favorite study
Well,
space.
come on, sit down. Welcome to my world. I spend hours in here all the time. I see you got your coffee too.
I've got my coffee.
Oh, I love this so much. So, how's your semester going?
It is going fantastic, but it's going by so fast.
I know, and I heard you're retiring.
I am retiring and I hear you're graduating.
Oh, all right, let's talk about all of this. There's so much to do.
Okay.
So, you're retiring. What are you doing?
Let me talk about you first though. You are the most important. You are the graduate. So what are you gonna do?
There's so many things that I want to do when I grow up, but after graduation, I'll be taking the LSAT in June and then headed over to UT to finish my psychology degree and then go to law school. Y'all know I love to fight. I like to talk, so I feel like it'll be great. And plus, they need Trents in legislation, so I need to do that.
Right. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to where Trent is 10 years from now. But first, let's take a look at this. So tell me about your experience at ACC.
Well, ACC has been kind of interesting. I started in the pandemic, and so I was living out of district in San Antonio, taking classes online. And then, moved to Austin to go to school full time, and it kind of just started real slow because nobody was on campus, but I was here every day. And then I just kind of got involved here and there, and slowly started seeing Trent around, and then all of a sudden I was all over the place, and it just like this explosion of opportunity just came along, and I really threw myself into spaces that made me uncomfortable, but I mean, they made me where I am now. And so it has been such a phenomenal experience. And I would almost say that ACC has kind of saved my life in a way, because it really put me in alliance with like going to law school and gave me something to think about.
Yeah. Put you on that stepping stone to your future.
Yeah.
So tell me, what made you run for student government?
It was kind of a joke at first. I was like, I just need to do something, and I didn't know what it meant to be a senator, or I didn't know what SGA was. It was just one of those things. I got this email, and I'm thinking, I guess I could do this. It would be fine. And so I was Highland Senator for a while, and then I became Senate Chair. And then all of a sudden, someone nominated me to be Vice President, and I was like, okay, this is good. I don't need to do any more. I'm good right here, getting up too high. I don't want all this responsibility. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, well, actually, you're going to be president, because the president that was actually elected transferred to UConn. And so it was like, well, per our Constitution, you're next. And I was like, oh no, 73,000 students? No. But at the end of the day, again, one of those things that took me out of my comfort zone and made me like come into my force, like full-fledged. And now it's like, oh, I couldn't have done anything else but be president, because it's just been so great.
You have been an amazing president.
Yes.
In one of the things that you were focused on is what do students need to be successful at ACC? And one of the things that I remember, the first time I think I really got to visit with you was on student housing, and talking about that. So affordable housing.
And I mean, it's a real thing. They still need housing.
Yes.
But I think on the other side of, coming out of the pandemic, we are starting to feel less stressed about these things in a very survival technique kind of way, right? You start to get used to the way you have to live, but also because students are coming back, we're getting that community, and it's like, okay, cool, maybe this person needs a roommate. So it's kind of working itself out, but also with the help of ACC, we've been able to like reach out to different partnerships and talk to different universities, and so it's been really, really great.
So you're going to go to UT. So you already know, right? Hook 'em?
I don't know yet. UT makes transfer students wait that extra time, but I'm claiming the win-win. I know I'm going to go. I'm not worried about it. They need a Trent.
So you're never going to forget the river bath, though, right? Okay. But you can
Mix them, right?
Modify it, right?
Absolutely.
So have you ever considered being a college president or chancellor?
Actually, after meeting you and like really being SGA president, yes, I think it's something that this college absolutely needs. They need someone that has gone through ACC and really worked the way the program is designed to be worked, but also that this passion that I have for this school. I mean, I'd be a great president, but if I did become president, what advice would you give me to be president?
Be yourself. Be the Trent that I know. That is perfect.
Yes, yes. I already got people summoning me to be on my board of trustees, so it was kind of funny. I was like, just give me your business card and I'll collect these.
If you could pick out your favorite professor, who would you pick out?
Why are you doing this to me? There's so many. I'd have to say Professor Stambo, Professor S. I think she goes by Professor Mitchell now. But just very much was my first professor that I had at ACC, one of the first ones. And just was really understanding. I was working full time, going to school. And she was like, I'm not worried about anything, just survive. And then we had the freeze, and she just gave us so much grace. And I needed that coming back to school as a 28-year-old because I'm non-traditional, I'm working full time. I just need a little extra grace, and she gave it to me. And so from there, it was like, okay, I started my first semester with a 4.0, and it was just like, okay, I can do this, I can continue trucking on. And so I will always remember her, and it will always be a thing where I'll just pay her kindness forward forever.
Yeah, that's what it takes, and that's what, that's the great thing about ACC, is passionate faculty and staff who really care about students.
And they've been here for so long. I didn't realize that most of them have been here 15, 20 years. I mean, there has to be a reason why people are staying at ACC, if not just for the students, for the work that they do, the community that they serve. It's not just ACC. We have this whole Austin community. We have Round Rock. We service so many different areas, but these professors are here for it.
That's exactly true. We have a lot of people coming from across the country and around the world to take a look at what ACC is doing. And the one thing that always interests me, because you think they come to take a look at redevelopment of a mall or great teaching spaces like the Accelerator or the Impact Lab and some of our bioscience incubator and things like that. But that's not what they leave with. What they leave with is, and I just had a conversation, we had some people visiting from St. Charles College, Community College in Missouri. And as they were walking away, what they're leaving with is, they said, the culture here is what is so amazing, that everybody is so embracing, so welcoming, and like they're glad to see us. And that is exactly what we want for our students.
I mean, we get to see y'all in the hallway. I remember the first week of this semester, I saw y'all out over here, and I had a student with me, and she just could not believe that she could see our president on campus. And I was like, oh, yeah, they know about Dr. Rhodes. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, that's our president? I'm like, there's a little Dr. Rhodes. Like, she did not realize that you would even just be on campus, because we have so many different facilities. And I think that really changed the perspective of how she was going to navigate. And she's doing well. Check in with her all the time, but like, she still talks about that. She was like, your president's on campus? Yes. So that was really cool for her to see, and our students to see you. And so it's been lovely.
That's one of the greatest joys of my time as chancellor here, is getting to meet the students and visit with students. That's what I love, because I love to hear their stories, and I love to hear about what their future is. Yeah.
Because ACC, the thing is, like, our programs, you can get a certificate, you can get a degree, and all of that can work for you, right? I'm a project management student as well, and so all of this just goes and flows into law school, and it just works for me. It
is all about stackable credentials. And as you know, we now offer 3 bachelor's degrees and soon to be 4.
Well, y'all need to go ahead and add psychology to that, but I won't start a riot about that one.
And I love your fingernails too.
Thanks. These are my
those look like celebration fingernails.
Oh, they have to celebrate. I'm graduating. It's all a celebration.
Yes. And you are going to walk across the stage. You're going to give a speech.
I am.
Have you started working on your speech?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't think y'all know this. I have a fear of public speaking. And also, I don't write the speech until the morning of, because I always like to go off of my vibes and how I feel.
Yeah.
So
I cannot believe that you have a fear of public speaking.
I get up there, my legs are shaking, and I'm like, I hope no one sees me shaking. Like, I'm not twerking, I promise. Like, I'm just shaking. And so I get up there, and I'm like, okay, zoned out. And then I sit down, and I'm like, oh, I just did that.
That's exactly how I am.
Exactly. It's like I want to be behind the scenes, like boots on the ground, and it's kind of SGA made me have to talk in front of people and
Yes.
do all these things, and so now I'm like, okay, it's not too bad. But
No, you're an expert.
thanks.
You are a professional.
You are a professional too. So, is it going to be hard for you to leave? Like, how are you feeling? And really, please tell me the truth.
Okay. Truth is, it's very bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love this institution.
Mm-hmm.
ACC is just an amazing place, filled with amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
So faculty, staff, our administrators, our students are just, a real joy to be with.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's bitter from that, because it's hard to leave, 12 years of investment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the other hand, I have 9 grandkids
Oh.
spread around the Southwest. They're not getting any younger. I'm not getting any younger.
Right.
And I need to spend more time with them, and so Kate, my wife, retired about a year ago.
Oh.
So we're taking a look at what do we do.
Yeah.
I teach a couple of classes for UT Austin.
Whoa. That's news to all of us. You're a professor at UT, what? And so what will you be teaching? And
So it's called the Executive EDD program
Okay.
at the University of Texas in the College of Education, Higher Education Management. So or leadership, and so I teach 2 classes. One is called Higher Education Finance and Economics, which really just keeps people awake on the edge of their chairs. But I also teach capital management and budgeting.
Okay.
Which is really a lot of fun because we can use, Highland campus as a development is a good example of the experience of something innovative, creative, that nobody's ever dealt with before. And so it's great to use that as kind of a pilot
Right.
project for them to look at and see what happened, what was the history.
Ooh, and I love that you're able to take something that you were immersed in completely and then bring that into your classroom with curriculum and just have it flow. Like, what better way to combine the two?
It is. It really brings relevance to what you try to teach in a classroom, but the experience and showing them what happens brings relevance to the idea.
And as a former K through 12 teacher, that makes a lot of sense because my students, they would be learning their numbers or their letters, and there's no relevance to them if the letters don't belong to them. And so I teach them the letters in the name first, and then they start to call attention to other letters, building words together. So it's very similar in a sense, but you're just having everyday experiences with adults that are in these classrooms. So.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're a former teacher and decided to go on a new career trajectory.
And much like you, it's hard. It was hard to leave it. It was very bittersweet. I loved what I did, but I knew it was just time to move on. And here I am 2 years later, moving on and going into something else. But we are so grateful that we had you at ACC. And I'm kind of biased. I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to be able to ever give us that Dr. Rhodes feel. But I'm very, very grateful that you will just be right at UT and still in our area. And I might see you around on campus somewhere. But for the rest of us, do you have any advice for us as graduates this semester? We have a lot of imposter syndrome. It's very scary. We are leaving such a community that we've been involved in. And so do you have any advice for us? Any words?
I do. One of the things is, and I think back upon when I graduated from high school, I was a very distracted student in high school, so I wasn't a great student. So I went my first year to a community college in my local community. And what I think about is one of my professors, a man named Dr. David Townsend, who taught history. And then I can tell you in high school, I did not like history. But he made history come alive for me in the classroom. And he showed an interest in me that inspired me to work harder and that I could become a college student, that I was college material. He made me believe in myself, actually, during that period of time. And that is, so when I think back upon that, and I think, what is it that we have to provide for our students? It is exactly that. So my message, one of the messages, think about mentors. So faculty members who have meant a lot to you here, or staff members or administrators, ask them, will you be my mentor? Will you stay in touch with me? And can I bounce ideas off of you? Because that's critical. And then, you know, it's just keep on working hard. You know, there's never any obstacle too big for you. And so you can overcome any challenge. I've seen it. I've seen it in Trent during the last couple of years. So just keep it up.
Oh, thank you for that. And a lot of us do have really good professors as mentors, and I even have professors that I didn't have that are not in my program that are like, Kay, you better stay in touch. And it's like, yes, I love you because you're in the RTF program. I might need you for something PR related with my law degree. Like, there's all these different avenues of people that we've come in contact with. And I think a lot of it is sometimes it's really hard to have those mentors because we see professors as like this authority figure. That's what K through 12 teaches you. It's like, teacher, I have to abide, I have to do this. But K Trent's like, no, we can argue with these people. We can do all this stuff, build relationships with them because they're, first of all, they're adults just like us. We're paying for this, but also this is what we're here for, to learn, and we can kind of create our own educational experience in higher ed. And so ACC has been really good about that. And I think it's phenomenal that you're going back into a classroom because it just proves my point of like, oh yeah, you're a person. Whoa, you have this whole other life out. You're not just our president. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. You have grandkids? Wow. Oh, whoa. You have a life outside of ACC? I didn't know that. Because kid me was like, where do you sleep at? Do you sleep at Highland or like, what's your home campus? Like, but I really appreciate those words. And, you know,
one other piece of, you know, I guess I would tell you is find balance. And so, you know, you got to make sure that family life, you know, work life, you know, if you're a religious person, you know, your spiritual life, all of that has to be in fine balance. And you can't forget that. So if you short circuit one of those, it affects everything.
Yes.
And so balance is critical for you.
Yes, and it's basically how you treat one form of relationship, you treat all of your relationships that way. And so if you are neglecting your spirituality, there's nothing you have to give to anybody else because you're not filling your cup up in a way that's filling you. And I think most of us are non-traditional students and we're like feeling that. We're like, oh, whoa, I kind of let this slip real quick. Let me just come back to it. And so once I'm coming back to it, it makes more sense and it just feels better and we do better. And so I'm really glad that you have this insight into that. That's some really woke stuff for you to say.
and accumulate those mentors.
Oh, yes.
So along the way, you know, whether you're at UT or wherever you're at, continue to accumulate those because those people are important. You know, when I was at the University of Texas at Austin working on my PhD, greatest mentor was a man named Dr. John Roosh. And so Dr. Roosh invested in me also. And while I didn't think I ever wanted to be a college president, he made me believe that I could be.
Wow.
And so today he is on our foundation board right here at ACC. Wow. And amazing man. But you kind of find yourself accumulating people that invest in you and in turn make you feel like you belong, make a believer out of yourself. So that sense of belonging is the other thing that we, in higher education, in education in general, we have to inspire and make all of our students, all of our faculty, our staff, our team feel like they belong and they make a difference.
Right. I always say like the tail can't be right if the head's not. And so if our professors don't feel this sense of belonging, we will not do well. They won't show up fully and authentically in their classrooms. And so I do like that you've called attention to that. And it kind of sounds like we both were like, I don't know if I want to be a president. But we've done it.
You can do it.
We've done it. And you have too. And here you are, 12 years later, and you're just going on and doing your thing. But what's been kind of one of your proudest moments here at ACC with all the time that you've been here? I have your track record right here, but I would like to hear it from you.
You know, I am most proud of our faculty, staff, our administrative team, because, you know, for me, it's a joy to see what they do. You know, sometimes I get to bask in the glory of what ACC is doing, but it is because of the people who are here that make that happen. But some of the things when I look back 12 years ago, there was a billboard that came up that said graduation rate at ACC 3.9%. Is this a good use of taxpayer money? We've changed that. So we've moved that up to about 24%.
Wow.
And it's still climbing. So never stop, never sit back on your laurels. And but that's one. But early college, high schools mean a lot to me. Dual credit, giving young people who are in high school opportunities to prove to themselves that they are college material, that they do belong in college, and get that sense of belonging into them as early as possible, that they can believe in themselves. So, I'm incredibly proud of that. We've done some things that other colleges, community colleges around the country haven't done, and that's looking at incubators. So, our first was the bioscience incubator, the fashion incubator, the manufacturing incubator, but it's partnerships and it's collaboration. So I would say when I step back, it is innovation and collaboration that is leading to the transformation of our community. And that's what I guess I'm most proud of. It's the innovation, the spirit of innovation that exists here. It's the spirit of collaboration, working with partners throughout the community, building a sense of pride in ACC. And so all of that just, makes me feel like a proud grandfather, of this institution.
I love that. And we need to get that on a t-shirt: innovation, collaboration, transformation. All of that needs to go. It's a nice mantra for a lot of us. And if we take it and we can just remember those things, we can be doing anything that we put our minds to.
Yeah. I spoke to a group yesterday. And one of the things I like to talk about is that we are bridge builders at ACC. And a student, in our mantra is start here, get there. And where students start and between where they want to get, oftentimes there's this big chasm. And how do you allow them to get over that chasm? And it's through ACC building the bridges to make that happen. And, I use an acronym for bridges. And everybody that knows me knows that I love to use acronyms. So the B in bridges is bold, courageous vision. Ooh. So you've got to be bold. You've got to think through what may not seem possible. And I think Highland campus is one of those that seemed like it was not possible.
I mean, it was a mall.
It was a mall, a dead mall.
We know where JCPenney was. We know.
Then the R is respect, and we have to respect for each other, but respect for the culture, respect for the community that we serve. So it's all about respect. And then the I is integrity, integrity of action. So if we say we're going to do something as a college, we have to follow through with that. And we as individuals, if we say we're going to do something, we follow through with it. So integrity of action. And then the D is develop your team. So learning is not one and done. It is continuous. And that means all of us need continual professional development. So develop your team. And then the G is grow the community. Grow your community through outreach, through becoming a part of the community and investing in that community. In return, they will invest in you, in ACC. And we saw that most recently in November with the passage of the GO bond election. 70%, which is almost unheard of across the country. They have seen the value of ACC because we have given into the community. They're giving back to allow us to do more because they trust us. And then the E is examine everything that you've done. Examine it through an equity lens and make sure that we are the ones who are probably the greatest in diversity, equity, and inclusion, is making sure that we are the example, and that creates that sense of belonging when people see that. And then the S is strategic partnerships.
Ooh.
And whether it's with our K-12 partners, with our university partners, business and industry, nonprofits, foundations, but you become a partner and you look for who are the right partners, and it's going to be very strategic.
Ooh, okay, acronym. I like that. But it's interesting that y'all talk about the bond, because essentially that is people choosing to tax themselves.
Yes.
And so it's like they're choosing this, but also many of them have degrees and certificates from ACC. And so they see like, oh, well, this worked for me. This needs to continue to work for our community, because we serve so many students, so many people. Our population here is unheard of, much like 70% for the bond is unheard of. So ACC is doing big stuff. We are the first to do a lot of things. And, I think even in my role as SGA president, there were so many things that I was doing that hadn't been heard of, or like just calling attention to stuff. And I think that's the beauty of a college like this, is that, again, knowing that you can call attention to these things, and it may seem like you're not being heard, but you're being received. And it's just about that collaboration and that partnership. And so strategically building that, and, that acronym is so perfect for everybody that comes.
So Kay, let me ask you a question. What would you tell students about ACC?
Ooh, incoming students or just in general
Incoming
students?
students.
Man, utilize your resources. We have so many resources at ACC. I mean, we get 6,000 minutes worth of tutoring for free. That is unheard of. So when I was in calculus, I was always like, all right, cool. How many did I use this week? Like, I need to make sure that I have all these things. We have Learning Lab. We have all of these things that are at our fingertips that many of us won't get it for a year, or, we'll get a little bit of it. We'll still have to pay out of pocket. I mean, we have to utilize the resources, and also don't be afraid to use your voice. Trent's moving on, and there'll be someone else that may not be as fiery and spicy, but at the end of the day, I'm just one voice. I'm just the one of the rest of the students, and so everybody needs to be using that voice that they have and using their ideas to their advantage, because realistically, students are a force. We're the ones that make the change, and it took me a while to realize that, but when I did, I was like, oh, come on, y'all, let's go continue to make this change, and always just keep pushing, no matter how long it takes you to get your degree. Don't let that time frame be the thing that stops you from getting it. I hear all the time, it's taking me 10 years to get a 2-year degree. Okay, great. I mean, I'm glad you're still doing it. You're still picking up and going and taking a class.
Persistence.
And you're persevering through all of those things. And so be proud of that. And so I'll probably have a little bit of that in my speech for graduation. But I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. I was 28 when I went back to school. It really doesn't matter. Do it, follow your dreams, follow your heart, and just go for it. It's fun. It's fun being scared and uncomfortable, I promise.
Now, where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you see Kay Trent 10 years from now?
Retired. I'll be 41. I don't want to work for the rest of my life.
You're just a kid.
I do. I want to be a kid.
child.
I do. I just want to be a kid, have fun, enjoy my life, enjoy that family aspect, and really see the world for what it is, and just kind of pour into people that may have, had the same experiences as me, and just make my mark everywhere as much as I can, because I think this world just needs it. But I hope, if I'm not retired, to at least be a House representative for Texas, because
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'm trying to be up in the state.
We need you.
I'm trying
we
to
need
be.
you.
Yes. I need to go up and do all the things, and maybe be in DC, and if not, definitely ACC president. I don't care who's president. I'm coming back.
Okay.
I'm coming back.
Okay.
So make room. I'm doing it. Because I love this place, and it would be so amazing just to be back and serve students and see that maybe some of the same professors are here, and just much like you, I love this space.
Well, and it's amazing because ACC, we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary. And we have 3 employees that were here from the very beginning. And that is amazing in itself to see that journey of individuals.
Oh, I look forward to that. And I wish you the best of luck on all of your endeavors. And, always come back if you need, phone a friend, call on me if you ever need anything.
And that is mutual.
Yes.
Okay.
I will be bothering you at UT. Oh, it's so great to see you. Like,
Good to see you.
It's always so
Good
great.
to see you.
Mm-hmm.